We have 4 more nights of NHL hockey until the break for the Four Nations face-off takes place. That means we have all kinds of picks right here on PuckTime for you guys, myself, Andrew, Carmine, and Bryan here to break down 3 great games, sides, totals, props, team totals, everything, you name it, right here on WagerTalk TV. Looking forward to the show. Looking forward to getting into a handful of games, and it's also kind of sad knowing that things are winding down for the last couple of days here before the break, but a good chance to reset and get back on track. And I know in our comments section, we've had some mixed emotions about how people feel about the Four Nations Cup. But hey, it'll still be some pretty good hockey to watch. And just so you guys are all aware, there will be betting lines on that stuff as well. But that's for a whole new show, Carm. This is a show for the NHL. Good morning, Carm. How are you?
I'm good, Andrew. You forgot to mention the most important thing. I get this is a hockey show, but man, 3 more sleeps, boys. 3 more sleeps. And it is the Eagles and Kansas City. I have the final score of the game already. The script has been passed on to me. If you guys can guess, since there was no underdogs in the NHL, I couldn't give away that some puck time swag. If you guys can guess what the final score, and I'll tell you at the end of the show what the final score is that I'm thinking. And Dan, stay out of the chat. I will pick one of you guys and get your info. I'm going today to pick up the swag, so I'll one out to you guys as well too. But we're talking Vegas Golden Knights, of course, because Brian Leonard is here against the New Jersey Devils on the Rock. Washington and Philadelphia, a couple Metro Division teams that don't like each other, and just playlist. And then we're going to finish it off with the Colorado Avalanche as they look to douse Flames tonight in Calgary, and then some show best bets and hopefully some info along the way. Brian, I'm not sure if you watched yesterday's show, but I threw a question at Andrew and I said, what's the best way to trend or a streak? Awkward silence.
You're going in and out. I'm having a hard time understand you. There's something wrong with your video or audio.
Andrew, what's the best way to end this? I can't even. He's muted.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you either, Carm. So you got to hit a refresh. Tough start for us. But Brian, he got me with that as well yesterday. And the way to end a streak is by talking about it. And I think I know where Carm was going with that one, because it was the Chicago Blackhawks first period over that was so successful all season at home. And once every single person, it seemed like on gambling Twitter, figured out about this streak, then it goes the other way. And it's kind of like we always talk about with Andy Lang about how, you only want to be on a streak that's really hot if you've been betting it early on. And that's exactly why I didn't jump on it yesterday. I was rooting at home. I was cheering for everybody else that I knew that was on it. But it was like, if I haven't made money on it already, I'm sure as hell not going to jump on this late. And that's kind of what I see sometimes with some of these streaks. But I was disappointed. I didn't really know the answer to what Carm said. I should have known. It's like the first rule of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. The first rule of a red hot streak is that we can't talk about a red hot streak. We don't want to throw anybody off. But Vegas, Jersey, Washington, Philly, Colorado Flames, as Carmine mentioned. Let's get the show started here, Brian. What do you have for us, Vegas and Jersey? We have talked about how we thought Vegas would have a tougher schedule post-Christmas. They've faced some of those tougher games. They've been a little bit up and down in those, but based on my updated strength of schedule rankings, now they're only about 3/4 or middle of the pack. So they have faced a lot of tough teams recently. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, things are quite a bit different now than they were a month ago for both of these teams. Over the last 30 days, the Golden Knights have posted a 3-11 record, a team that more than once this season had the best record in the league. So it's been a major disappointment for Vegas. And we mentioned during that time how Vegas has struggled in the month of January every year of the existence, especially after the first 2 seasons. I don't believe they've made any profit for their clients at all, or people who are betting on them in January the last 6 years, 5 years. Vegas has dominated the Pacific Division, which is a regular occurrence. They do it all the time, and that's how they get to their position in the playoffs, is they really taken it to the divisional rivals. But they have struggled versus the Eastern Conference, and they end the first half at Boston on Saturday. They've struggled all year against the Eastern Conference. In fact, they've lost the last 2 games out east before they play this game tonight. So it hasn't been good for Vegas when they play teams from the Eastern Conference. New Jersey hasn't been quite as bad as of late, going 5-7 over the last month, but the opposition has been pretty weak when you take a look at the teams that they have played. And they do play at Montreal on Saturday, so that'll be their last game of the before the break here. I really wanted to fade Vegas, and I was surprised by what the line was. I guess I didn't realize Jersey was struggling as much as they had been. But still, in this price range, to expect Vegas to win on the road with everything that's going on for them, you can just see the frustration after every game. No, they don't have an answer. And until they can turn it around and get some self-confidence, I don't want any part of Vegas in a near pick-up situation, and that's the situation we're in tonight. New Jersey at home, Vegas against an Eastern Conference foe. I will take New Jersey.
Oh man, so Brian, it looks like we are mano a mano on the very first game of the day, because I kind of like Vegas here, and I get it. How can you like a team on a 4-game losing streak? But I look at the teams that they're playing, and the New York Rangers, they play the Rangers when the Rangers are starting to finally come around. So that's a tough one for them. I think there's, the strength of schedule, and Andrew talks about strength of schedule, but you look at the games for Vegas and just bringing them up real quickly. To play the New York Islanders, lose 2-1 on the island, and that's an Islanders team I think that had won 6 or 7 games in a row too. A team that is making their own push. So they're playing teams at the wrong time when you're not playing at the level that you're playing at. They lose at home to Dallas and Columbus, both in OT. They pick up points but lose in OT. I always say those OT games are coin flips, and they really are once they get there. But this is one where it's likely going to be Nico Daws in goal tonight. That's what I'm seeing thus far. New Jersey has 2 games left. They have this one here, and then they're at Montreal on Saturday. And in all likelihood, they'd want to start, I would think, Andrew would agree with me, they'd want to start Jake Allen in Montreal against his former team. So, with that said, it's minus 110. This line is steamed a little bit overnight. It was minus 125 New Jersey, plus 105 for the Vegas Golden Knights. It's now 110 both ways. No thought on the total here. I'm going to stay away from this total at 5.5. You can look at it this way. If you think Vegas is going to win this game, you want to play them the first period as well too. You're going to get pretty much the exact same price. The Devils at home are one of the worst teams in the opening 20 minutes, but they are on this season one of the best second period teams. And it's because they need to get out of that hole in the first period. So with that said, I think you can play this 2 ways. You either take Vegas for the full game, or you take them in the first period and you get out. 20 minutes and out, Andrew.
20 minutes and out. What are you planning on robbing a bank tonight, Carm? You only got 20 minutes. I think this is going to be.
If it was 2 minutes and out, I know what he's talking about.
Hey, he can speak for himself. He can speak for himself on that one. But when you look at this game, you've got some people, some players on this Vegas team that are really struggling, like individually as well, not just like the team as a whole, individual players. And it's funny, we talk sometimes about how home and road splits don't matter, right, guys? Like we'll talk about how this home ice advantage doesn't really matter. And Brian, I feel like it's been a bit of a zigzag. Like 1 year it does matter for the Knights, 1 year it doesn't, and this year I think it's gone back to mattering quite a bit, just based on what I've seen as of late. And like you were mentioning, I think 1-6 last 7 on the road here. And having said all of that, Carm is right though about when he's talking about kind of the scheduling that we have seen them go through. Because let's be honest, New York playing some of their best hockey. The Islanders I'm talking about. Obviously, the Rangers, they pick up JT Miller. They're excited. They've got some changes being added to their roster. They're playing a little bit better. Columbus was playing better, but now they're dealing with injuries. Dallas. So it hasn't exactly been like completely horrible for them. But you got a New Jersey team right now that I just trust to kind of step up every game, but it's a little bit the opposite of they've been playing a lot of like cold teams. Like Pittsburgh's not very good. Buffalo, hey, we all know what they are, Carm. Philly twice, my Montreal Canadiens. The thing is, I look at guys, 4 of the last 5 games for Vegas have gone under. 8 straight games against the Eastern Conference have gone under. However, 4 of the last 5 against New Jersey have gone over. I'm actually going to go over in this one. I think that sometimes when you struggle so many times in a row and in back-to-back games against both New York teams, the Islanders and the Rangers, there's going to be just a level of desperation and motivation to get on the score sheet. And sometimes when you have that urgency offensively, you end up sacrificing some defense as well. And we know how great the goaltending can be for Vegas, but they've scored they haven't scored 3 or 4 goals since the start of the month or the end of January. I mean, it's been 1 or 2, and it's not acceptable for this Vegas team. So I do think they'll look at this game, play very fast brand of hockey, but also end up giving up some goals in the process as well. I know New Jersey's a good team defensively. I know they have good goaltending, but I like these head-to-head matchups, very similar to my player props. As a whole, this team is going under against the Eastern Conference, but specifically against New Jersey, they seem to be going over the total. So I'll take the over in this game and look for some goals, and hopefully Vegas can get it going and find some offense in this one. Guys, I feel like it is a good time to mention once again that we have all of our plays available, of course, at WagerTalk, which all of you guys probably know unless you're new. Carmine, Bryan, myself. We have 3-day all-access passes available, 7-day all-access passes available, and, of course, 30-day. And for anybody looking right now to get involved long-term, we, of course, do have that great deal going right now where you go from a $19.99 to $11.99 for a full year of every single sport. Hockey, basketball, football, baseball, every single thing that we release over at WagerTalk. And honestly, between Carmine, Bryan, and myself, I'd say we cover a hell of a lot of sports. Between the 3 of us, we're probably covering quite a bit of stuff here, guys. So it's a great deal. And if you guys don't want to get involved for a year pass, of course, there's the 3 days, there's the 7 days, the 30 days, but it's my job to mention them. So some of you guys in the chat yesterday in the comments were like, hey, I don't want to buy long-term. Hey, I'm just giving you the option. Just letting you know about it. Nobody's forcing your hand. We have all kinds of great options available. 3-day, 7-day, 90-day as well. So there's all kinds of great stuff available there. Right, Carm?
Yeah. I took the day off yesterday. Brian Leonard, I'm surprised he hasn't fallen off of his chair when I said that. I completely passed on all sports. I didn't like anything. The only things I kind of liked were the under in the Bruins game, and that one stayed under the total. But it was good to take a day off of sports. But there's so many good games on tonight's NHL card. I've got them ready to get loaded, so I'll put them up after the show. And this is going to be a big week as well too. I'm gonna have a 5% play in soccer, not in NHL, going this weekend, and unbeaten in 2025 with those 5% soccer plays. So we'll see if we can keep those going. Andrew, do you have a big play up in the NHL tonight? I want to mention it before we get to the second game.
We got a big play going in the NHL, Carm, but the biggest thing I wanted to mention was just that 3-day all-access pass I've got going. It's a promo code AM39, gives people the opportunity to get 3 days of all sports for the price of 1. So what did I say at the start of the show, guys? I already can't remember. 4 days left, 4 or 5 days left of the NHL so far. So, hey, 3-day all-access, I felt like that was the way to go. Because why buy just one play when you can get 3 days and you're going to get this for the price of 1? So 3 days for the price of 1, promo code AM39. I appreciate the opportunity, Carm.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this now, just so anyone doesn't guess the same prediction, but someone got the prediction right. So, Frank Budd, if you're watching this right now, and hopefully you didn't just put a prediction in there, I know you're still watching. Frank Budd, send your info over to Melissa at WagerTalk. It's support@wagertalk.com. And she will get the info to me, and I'll get some PuckTime swag out. Let me know what size shirt that you wear, and I'll get that out. And of course, Dan Alexander, he did take the Eagles to win the game, so you're happy on that one. And Dan, you can send me your info, and I'll send you some PuckTime swag as well too. Speaking of swag, the Washington Capitals are just like the swag team of the NHL, Brian. They just continue to win, thrash the Florida Panthers 6-3. Just, I think you can pretty much lock up their coach as coach of the year at this point of the NHL season, 50 games in. I can't see how you could not give their coach like the coach of the year honors. Minus 150 against Philadelphia, plus 130. These teams have played twice. They played back-to-back games in October. The Caps winning the second one 6-3. That game generated just under 7 XG goals at 6.93. The first game was 4-1 the previous day in Philadelphia, and that one had a very low 3.76 XG. Total sits here at 5.5. Brian, how are you playing this game?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Washington's been very, very good to me this season. They have a plus 86 net goal advantage between these two on the season. Capitals are an excellent 18-7-2 on the road. Current 7-1-2 mark the last 10 overall. They do host Utah Sunday. It'll be their last game before the break. Over the last month in 5-on-5 expected goals, we find Washington at 50.37. Philadelphia at a strong 56.25. We talked about this the other day with the Flyers. Despite that gaudy 5-on-5 numbers, the Flyers are only 6-9 over the last month. They're dominating play, and they still cannot win. That's not a good sign here for this Philadelphia team going forward. You know, they've scored just 10 goals their last 8 games. They're really struggling on the offensive end, and if you're struggling on the offensive end and going up against this goaltending for Washington, it's not pretty. They end the first half hosting Pittsburgh on Saturday. That's the game that's more important to them, obviously, a big in-state rival. I think Washington wins this game. I'm very surprised it's as cheap as it is. It's being bet up a little bit. And obviously, you know, we've talked about home value. Home value is only good if you are able to win there. And Philadelphia's got a worse home record than Washington does on the road. I like Washington here. This is one of the better plays on today's card.
I tend to agree with you, Brian, on that. I'll give my thoughts in a second. Andrew, Washington, Philly. Does Tortorella get this team going? Behind the bench, the guy looks like he's always pissed off. It's just, even when they're winning, he's leaning forward. He no longer wears a suit. He wears that tank top, whatever, tracksuit top or whatever. He leans forward. He looks like he just wants to murder someone behind that bench. Well, if you're from Philly, I think that murder and comes with it. But I digress.
Oh.
Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't scored a power play goal in 4 straight games. They're 1-7 their last 8 games. And, you know, what, to Brian's point, good luck scoring against the Washington Capitals, because that's the thing, is that, yeah, sure, the Washington Capitals haven't been playing their best over the past few games. They proved they can win a high-scoring game their last time out. And then you look at most of their games, they've gone under in 10 of their last 13. So good luck for the Philadelphia Flyers putting up goals on Washington in this one. You can't find their offense right now whatsoever. And the thing is, you know, Brian talked about when a team is creating offense, generating, but they're not able to finish. I also look at that when a team is getting on the power play and they can't even get one, like 1 for 3, 1 for 4. That's a telltale sign things just aren't going well either. And it's a good opportunity for us to look towards unders as a whole. I also like the fact that Washington hasn't exactly been playing their best hockey as of late. They've been humbled a bit lately. They don't want to go into the break stumbling. They don't want to go into the break playing mediocre. They obviously were playing some red-hot hockey. They want to be able to maintain the level they've played. But I've been guilty, and people have kind of come at me for this, for saying, hey, look, Washington's only good now because of their goaltenders. Because at the start of the season, I was hyping up Washington. Then I started saying they're overrated. And then I see our colleague Bryan Leonard making money on Washington every night. I'm like, all right, I'm jumping in on the bandwagon now. But I also realize that a lot of the reasons why they're winning is because of the low scoring ability of some of these games that they have. So, look, I could try all I want to build a case for Philadelphia, but there's nothing to build here. This isn't the game that they bounce back in. This isn't the opportunity for them to get it going, I don't think. And there's only one way that I'm going to look here, and that's the team total under for Philadelphia, 2.5 minus 110. I think Washington, coming off a game, I think the score was 5-4. Coming off a game like that, it's not really a recipe for success for Philadelphia, because Washington won the game but will not be happy with their defensive efforts. They're going to lock things down. Very curious to see how Philadelphia handles this game. Also, that hard coaching, Carm, we're seeing from Torts has caused, I believe, Michkov only has like 3 or 4 points his last 20 games. Not very good for him to start the season off. It's pretty much now a battle of Celebrini and Lane Hudson for the Calder Trophy, as Michkov has really fallen off a cliff with that Calder Trophy nominee. But Capitals, to me, are the play today. Try and find some ways to bet this one, but Philadelphia team total under seems to be the best way to go.
Obviously, Andrew, you talk about goaltending. He's done a fabulous job, Washington's coach, of managing the goalies, alternating them between starts, keeping these guys fresh. And if you're a team coming into Washington, or if you're a team that's hosting Washington, you can't afford to struggle. You can't afford to play bad defensively, because they're just going to capitalize on you. No pun intended there. But it's Fedotov's confirmed for tonight. He's 0-3-2 his last 5 starts on the season. He's 4-7-3. His save percentage, last 5 starts, 880, 881 on the season. Even though his goals against average 293 last 5 games, 3.21 overall. If your team isn't scoring and you're allowing goals, it is a bad recipe. It's a recipe for disaster. And, the one thing about Washington, you look at the difference between last year and this year is, they eked into the playoffs, and we all thought, do they really deserve to be there? Because they were minus 40 in goal differential. I think that the only team to have made the playoffs with such a bad goal differential, plus 56 right now for the Washington Capitals goal differential. This is a team that doesn't just win, they spank you at the same time. They're a fun team to watch. They definitely are. And I hope that there is no regression, that they continue down this path right now, because what better improvement than to go from like 8th to go to 1st overall. It's kind of like what we saw with Florida, eking into the playoffs one year and making it to a cup final, and then having a great year and winning the cup. So we'll see what holds for Washington, but minus 150-ish. If the VIG gets too high, I think you just take them in regulation. I think they get the job done in 60 minutes regardless. So Washington for me. Andrew, what do you have lined up for us on your props playlist today?
Carm, 2 props that I like quite a bit here. We're going to try and find the winners here, and I think these are 2 that are kind of good situational spots. But the first one is Adam Fantilli from the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're going to take his over on shots on goal. And this is very simple, and this is because of all the injuries that Columbus is dealing with right now. I mean, for them to be sitting in a playoff wildcard spot for probably over a week and a half time, and then to see Monahan out for a while, for Marchenko to be out for a while, for some defensemen to be out for a short period of time. Even Werenski was dealing with some injuries. I feel like Fantilli is alone on an island. He's the only one left, guys. He's the only shooter that's still standing on this team. I mean, it's like a football team missing every wide receiver besides one, basketball player missing all 5 starters besides one guy. This is pretty much what it's like in hockey terms. This is the only shooter remaining. So I feel like he has the green light. We're getting plus 108 on this one. I like this one here. He's hit it 4 straight times. We'll try and make it 5 tonight. Adam Fantilli of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I can tell you what, his coaching staff is telling him, if you get that puck, you have our blessing to shoot that puck all that you want. Before I jump to the second one, guys, just a quick reminder again, AM39, 3 days for the price of one, all sports, all access, every single bet and play that I release across every sport, including 5% plays. One 5% play goes for $35. This deal for 3 days, all sports, $39. So take advantage of that if you are interested. The next one, people always asking, hey, not just betting overs here, give me some unders. Well, Matt Boldy to not have a point, plus 135. He has gone under or stayed off the score sheet in 6 straight games. He has not been able to find his offense. Same thing with the Minnesota Wild. They have not been finding their offense as of late. Things won't get much easier for them as they play the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. So not really a good matchup for them, not a good matchup for Matt Boldy, and we're getting plus money here on him to remain off the score sheet. So 2 player props here for tonight in a busy Thursday NHL slate. Let's make some money, guys. And if you want to join me on that big play, feel free to join me or get that great 3-day all-access deal. Back to you, Carm.
And Andrew, wish you the best of luck and grab that deal. Guys, Don Buster will return tomorrow. He's on Friday's show per his request. And he has a 5% play up tonight as well, too. You can find that over at WagerTalk. So good luck to Buster on that one as well, too. All right, Colorado and Calgary. Brian, I'm going to make this quick on this one. If you like the over, take it now. It's at 5.5. This game's going to hit 6 by game time, I have to believe. I've played it already. I like the over in this one. Colorado coming off a shutout loss, and Calgary coming off a 6-3 loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. There is no Calgary hate for me. I just think that this Colorado team is going to score tonight, and that this game is going to go over the total. They've only played once this season, and that was in Calgary, where the Avs got 6 goals in that one as well, too. So I'm taking the over in this one, and I grabbed it before it hit 6.5. I'm starting to see a couple 6s start to pop up on the screen right in front of me as I speak. So grab the 5.5s if you can before it hits 6. Brian, what are your thoughts?
Before we get to this game, because I don't have a lot on this one, to be honest with you, I've got a 4% play up in the NHL, a 3% play in the NBA. They're up right now. I'm still working on college basketball. I wanted to talk about Logan Thompson, if I've got a second, since I don't have much to say about this next game. He wanted to play in this tournament coming up, and according to the stats, he's one of the top 2 goalies in the NHL. 2 of the coaches that are making the decisions are the coaches that have been in Vegas the last 2 times. They've got the current coach, and they got the Dallas coach. And they are the ones who decided not to choose him because I guess when he played for each of them in Vegas, there were times where he claimed he was hurt and they needed him to play and he wouldn't play. So they're getting back at him because of that. That's extra motivation, I would think, for the Washington goalie. I just wanted to let that people know about that. I found that out yesterday on Twitter. So it's something, he's lived with motivation like that his entire life. He's got more reason to continue on for Washington in that regard. Calgary and Colorado. It's the first meeting of the season between the Western Conference participants. Colorado's off a 3-0 loss at Vancouver, and they played Edmonton tomorrow. So it's a little bit rough going here for Colorado. That's going to be the final game before the break for the Avalanche. The Flames are in this 3-game homestand Saturday, hosting Seattle. They've dropped 2 straight here at home. In 5-on-5 expected goal share over the last month, it favors Colorado. But the betting value here to me is on the host in Calgary. I lean with Calgary here. There's better games on the board, but Colorado just hasn't played well enough for me to want to back them in this price range on the road.
All right. I never know when it's my turn.
We only had a host on this show.
It's your turn. It's your turn. Andrew, You're the leader of this show, Andrew. It's always your turn, man. You have the better
Man
hair.
in the
Both you
middle.
guys have the better hair. I am not going to make any sandwich reference jokes on this one that involve Marco because Brian didn't sleep for 3 days after last week's uh, graphic sandwich thing with him and Prez. So, anyways, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole strategy with taking the first period over when a team is off a game where they were shut out, guys, it's definitely started to level out. It's like what Carmine you were saying about talking about a trend can kill a trend. Well, every single person started betting this strategy, and then it stopped working as much. But one thing I've realized with this strategy here and kind of this trend that people have been doing is that for the most part, it was working more so for just teams that are actually elite teams. So if you're betting the, quote unquote system play, people were calling it, when it's Philadelphia off a shutout, right? You're probably going to put yourself in trouble because there's probably a reason why Philadelphia got shut out. I'm sure you guys can agree with me on that. But when you talk about a Colorado team that just got shut out, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like, this is a team that has bounce back ability. This is a team that has the offense, that they have it in them to have that, first period breakout in the next game after being shut out. They ran into a hot goalie in their last game with Thatcher Demko. He played out of his mind. Of course, Calgary does have good goaltending as well, but they've also been adding to their offense. They just added 2 additional players, Farabee and Frost. 2 good players that should add to the offense in that lineup. And, guys, the best part about when you take these spot plays is that team is off a shutout. They're playing some good defensive games as well, but you're getting minus 125. And I've noticed a lot of the first period overs that don't come in are the ones that are like minus 150 or 60. This is a good solid price. And with how popular these bets have gotten, I don't really want to bet anything over this number of 125 or 130. So this is where I'm going with this game. Colorado, Calgary, first period, over 1.5, 20 minutes, and I'm out of here. I was up too late the past 2 nights, getting disappointed by the Montreal Canadiens. I will not be fooled by this Calgary game and be up too late watching this one. We'll finish this one in 20 minutes. Hopefully get out of here with just 2 goals or more in that first period. And hopefully it's a good one. Carm, we got a good slate of games tonight here in the NHL. Yeah. And between all of us, sounds like we have all kinds of plays. Brian's got NBA and NHL. You've got soccer going up as well, NHL. So all kinds of great stuff for us for this weekend.
Yeah, no soccer for me today. There's like an FA Cup semifinal, Liverpool and Tottenham. Arsenal didn't even show up to theirs yesterday. They were miserable. I'll probably watch it, an in-game bet, or wait till the lineups come out. But I have to think it's a semifinal game to play at Wembley in the final against Newcastle now. So I have to think that Liverpool is likely to play, but I'm probably priced out of it. We'll see. A ton of plays going on. I have a trivia question real quickly, since we have a little bit of time, for both you and Brian. This is a tough one, Andrew, Brian, but let's see if you guys can get this one. Can you name the only player that was traded mid-season and won the Hart Trophy?
Taylor Hall?
No. His initials are JT. And he used to have like a nice, huge, big beard towards the end of his career. Joe Thornton. Correct. Justin Trudeau. No. I want to put him in a barrel and throw him over the falls, but we're going to keep politics out of this one and just enjoy some great Canadian beer, tariff-free. Anyways, Joe Thornton wins or won the Hart Trophy. Every once in a while, I'm watching a hockey game and they put up some weird stat or they're talking about something, and I put it in my private Slack. And I'm like, let's talk about this on like tomorrow's show or the next day's show or what have you. So it's always interesting. I can't imagine a Hart Trophy winner getting traded mid-season, but he won the Hart trophy in the season that he was traded. He didn't win the Hart and then get traded. So
Right.
that's just one interesting fact. Anyways, those are just trivia questions. This is not a trivia question, Brian. This is fact. Give us a winner tonight on the card and tell us what you have up at WagerTalk.
I've already talked about what I had up, so I won't take any more of that time. Here's a trivia for you. The Cleveland Indians had 2 starting pitchers that won the Cy Young Award. The very next year, they traded them. Cliff Lee and CC Sabathia. That tells you how my career has been rooting for Cleveland sports. We're going to get back to the best bet. I'm going to go back to New Jersey and play them against Vegas here. Just can't trust Vegas on this streak. No confidence at all. 3-11 record the last 14. They've had so many times where you thought they would come out, and this is the game. This is the game that's a great spot for them. They're not winning. They're not winning. They're not playing well. They have no confidence. I'll play New Jersey here, and a really cheap number if you ask me.
All right. I wish you the best of luck. Andrew, I'm going to go next because you have a 5% play, and I definitely want you to talk about that and the coupon, which is an absolutely great deal as well, too. But you and I originally had the same best bet on today's show when we dropped it into our channel. But I went a different way because let's give the people more variety. I am going to continue to fade Minnesota. Ryan Hartman. Andrew, I'm going to just vent a little bit. The NHL player safety, or whatever, gave this guy 10 games. 10-game suspension. This guy's a repeat offender. He's slew-footed. I think, was it Humidor? Or he slew-footed someone, got 3 games. He threw a stick at an official and got suspended. He just rammed Tim Stutzel's face into the ground off a face-off. He gets 10 games, rightfully so. He could have got more. And now the NHL Players Association is defending him and appealing the decision. Isn't this the same Players Association that has Tim Stutzel, who pays money into it? It is absolutely beyond me. The guy's a repeat offender. It's not like a guy who did it for the first time, could have claimed it was an accident, didn't mean to do so, and you give him fewer games. This guy is a repeat offender, and I just don't get how the Players Association can appeal this 10 games. Hopefully they appeal it and he gets more than 10 games. They go, yeah, we made a mistake. Let's give him 15. Okay, anyways, that's my old man rant before Dan puts Grandpa Simpson up on the screen there. I'm going to have 4 plays up in the NHL tonight. 1 is loaded. The other 3 are going out soon. No soccer. And my free play is going to be Carolina on the regulation line. I am fading Minnesota. That's what got me onto this whole Hartman thing as well, too. I'm going to fade Minnesota. They're not playing very good hockey right now. They really need Kaprizov back as well, too, but that's going to be a while. I'm going to fade them. I'm taking Carolina in regulation, minus 105, because that price has blown up. I would have loved to have released it yesterday or last night at minus 145 on Carolina, but then I would have had to take the play down because it's at minus 170, minus 180 right now. So give me the Carolina Hurricanes minus 105 in regulation to get the job done. Andrew, I'll throw it to you.
Karma, I can't blame you on that one. I like that one quite a bit as well. And this is the thing is that when you got a team struggling, sometimes there's just no point in trying to find a reason to bet on them. You just want to keep betting against them. And I feel like both of your guys' bets are kind of in similar fashion there with that one. Mine is more of a rapid revenge spot. I haven't been always jumping on these rapid revenge lately, but I do think this one is a pretty good one. But again, guys, big play tonight in the NHL and a huge play on Sunday in the big game. I think this is probably the first 5% play I've ever had for the Super Bowl. So this is an 8-0 run in the playoffs. Haven't lost a bet in the postseason for the NFL. a player prop that I really, really like. I invite you guys to join me. But if you want to get all of my plays 3 days, AM39 for the price of one, you guys can do that over at wt.buzz/AM. Best bet for today, we're going to go back to the Ottawa Senators over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Love this price, love the number, love the spot. And I also love the fact that I bet on Tampa Bay in the last meeting between these two teams, and now we're going on the other side. You know, it was second half of back-to-back for Ottawa before. It was the first start for Allmark. It was just a bad situation for the Ottawa Senators. Now we go home and home. Ottawa heads on the road to take on Tampa. I think this team has more depth right now than Tampa Bay does, which is shocking to say because I really always talked about how deep of a team Tampa Bay can be. But I like how Ottawa's playing right now. They have a lot of confidence, and I believe they'll get their revenge tonight on the Lightning. So that will do it for today's show here on Puck Time for February 6th. On behalf of Bryan and Carmine, I'm Andrew. I appreciate you for being here, guys. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to our channel. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Puck Time.